Hey guys, so today I'm doing a little fix on the BMW. This part right here broke. It cracked and started spraying fuel. This is the replacement part. This just plugs in there. It's like a quick connect. Anyway, kind of frustrating. Sorry about the weird camera angle there. Yeah, kind of frustrating. It happened right here in the neighborhood, so it didn't leave me stranded somewhere, but squeeze. These, by the way, are side cutters. Or nose cutters, or shit, I don't know the name of them. They're for cutting. Chung, chung, chung. The, wow, it focused. The correct tool for crimping these doesn't have a blade on this. And they're like really expensive. I think they were 80 bucks or something like that. And these were like 20 bucks. So I bought these and I filed the edge off. Anyway, oh come on, get your thumb out of the way, dude. You see, that's about similar to that. It just displaced the bulge on the, or it just displaced the rubber and bulged it a little, so we should have a good seal. This goes in here. Should be that. That should be that. Alright, I'm going to go get the key and we'll be right back. There we go. Here's the key. Turned on. Goes through the startup sequence. You don't have to let it go through this, they said, but it's better if you do. And corn top. One more time, I'll put the panels on. I'm going to spare you that. So there you go, back up and running. The thought that I have and I wanted to share is I'm thinking of selling this thing, getting rid of it, trading it in, getting something a little more reliable. The last few breakdowns on this, I can't even. Those little parts I just showed you. That's how much that cost. It's a $50 repair because of a stupid little cracked fitting. And I don't know. I just don't make that kind of money anymore. And getting a little frustrated with the repair bills. So I don't know. I think I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Jet. No, I don't know. I'm looking at the KLR 650 and the DR 650, and well, I'm off to breakfast, and I'll talk about that later. Anyway, catch you guys in a little bit. Oh, there it is. It's all fixed. I wrote it. Too cool, right? So, yeah, $50, man, for those parts. The repair took like 5 minutes. I think it took longer to put the panels on. But you add up the price of the part, it's kind of pricey. Anyway, thing breaks down, get mad, get the bill for what it's going to cost for the part. It's just like, There's a picture here I'll show you. So there's that picture. That's the flange that holds the fuel pump in the tank, and it's cracked, you know. I bought that bike 3 years ago, and they inspected that at the time and did some little repair. Well, now, because the patch job that BMW had the dealership do, that supposedly takes care of that recall on that part being defective. That's lame. And that's not BMW, that's just life in general, you know. So that's not going to be covered. That's a $350 part, because the fuel pump, the sender unit, all that stuff is part of that now, the new part. So I got to replace the fuel pump, which I'm probably going to have to do anyways. Apparently the ethanol fuel is eating this stuff up, or has a hand in eating it up. I don't know how much it's playing into it, but you know, 13 years later, what is that? Yeah, 13 years later, this is 2018, bike's in 05, so 13 years later, you know, what's the inside of that fuel pump going to look like? All the rubber pieces. Still got to do the clutch. Part on that's going to be $250 to $400, depending on how much of it I replace. I think it was like $350-ish for all of it. And then you're talking a whole weekend, you know. Thankfully, I got a buddy that's willing to help. He's done it a couple times on other bikes, so I don't know. So the big debate going on in my head is whether or not to keep the BMW. And for a long time, the debate rolling back and forth was keep the BMW or keep the Harley. And I decided to keep the Harley for a little bit, and then I started riding it every day, and it just beats me up. I can't. I don't enjoy riding it. It hurts. Yeah, everything hurts. It hurts all the time now anyways. This arthritis stuff is no fun, but it's just what you got to do. But I can ride the BMW all day, every day. You know, it's not going to bother me as bad. It's a different seating position. It's a whole nother thing. So a friend of the family is wanting to buy the Harley. I'm going to sell it to him. And then the BMW, I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to keep it. So here's the things that I'm floating. Here's the things I'm floating. Either keep the BMW and keep paying for the repair stuff and doing repairs. Either keep it or downsize to something more affordable. And by affordable, I'm looking at the KLR 650 or the DR 650. One of the two of those. If I get the DR, I'm going to have to put a windshield on it and a larger fuel tank. Maybe. Depends on how much long distance riding I'm willing to do on that bike. If I get the KLR 650, it's already got the fairing and windshield, it's already got the big tank. There's some little things that you have to do to the engine, the doohickey, the thermal bob, all that stuff. We're in a 105 degree heat here lately, so I think that thermal bob's probably going to be a necessity on that bike. But a KLR, I probably would run the same Shinkos that I'm running on the BMW, and I'd ride it the same way. You know, 80% of my riding, 90% of my riding's on the road, and I occasionally go and tear off into the hills a little bit. Once in a great while, I'll go with the group and go do a ride, and they do off-road stuff, but it's not, you know, so far it hasn't been super bad, but it's almost always outside of my skill set, so it's always a learning experience. Anyway, the other thing I was kicking around is getting the Royal Enfield Classic 500 and putting something semi-knobby on them and still being able to go into the hills, you know, 5-10% of the time, just dirt roads, you know. That is a cool little bike, and it was comfortable to ride. If I move the seat up a little bit, which honestly a pad like the one I use on the Harley, that would do it, I think. But that bike was comfortable. It's easy to throw around. It's good for putting around town. You know, you're not going to go do long trips. Honestly, I don't know how many long trips I got left in me. Like I say, it breaks. You get the bill for the parts. You're like, I got to get rid of this bike. And then you go ride it, and it's like, but I love my BMW. She's my high maintenance blonde. Brunhilde. Anyway, a little bit of motorcycle maintenance. We did repair the driveway there. I took off and had breakfast at a new place with Greg. That was good. Thanks, Greg. That was good breakfast. Thanks for showing me that place. Went and stopped at a motorcycle store, looked at the Royal Enfields again, kind of like, I wish I could afford to have like 5-6 bikes. Anyway, it's a good Saturday so far. Nice out. It's only going to be in the 80s today. Low 80s tomorrow. High 80s today. Not bad. Sit out here for a little bit. Iced tea. Alright guys, my big gripe, my big thought process, what's going on in the world today. Oh, tomorrow's Father's Day, and we mounted a 3-9 scope on her dad's AR, so we'll take that over there maybe later today. See if he wants to go shoot it tomorrow. We got to sight it in again. That's going to be cool. But that'll be a different video. But anyway, alright guys, catch you on the next one.